Ari Shapiro is a man of many talents. He's one of the hosts of NPR's All Things Considered. He's a New York Times bestselling author, and he's also a skilled singer who's bringing his cabaret show to Pittsburgh next week.
And I actually grew up with Ari in Portland, Oregon. We're family friends, and I got to hang out with him on Zoom earlier this week, and we talked about some of his many jobs and also his upcoming show at City Winery. Take a look. I remember seeing you in so many productions at the JCC in Portland, Oregon, where we both grew up. I think I remember seeing you in Into the Woods. Were you the baker?
Yeah, at about age like 7th grade. Yeah. I was. It's a good memory.
Yeah, well, it was obvious you were such a fan of performing and musical theater. And then it seemed like you sort of had to relegate all that, you know, as you pursued this very impressive career in journalism. You've hosted All Things Considered for nearly a decade. But over the last few years, you've been performing more and more. So what has it been like to suddenly be able to pursue this passion in this professional way?
I love being able to use a different set of muscles. You know, whether I'm singing and performing in a cabaret or with the band Pink Martini, or whether I'm reporting the news, fundamentally, it's all different versions of storytelling. And obviously, reporting from a war zone is very different from singing a Broadway show tune. But at the end of the day, my goal is to kind of build a bridge of understanding, help people relate to those around them and understand the world in a deeper, more nuanced way. And music and journalism are just kind of two different ways of reaching that same goal.
My first day at the White House, I had no idea what I was supposed to be doing. This is ridiculous. What am I doing here? I'm in the wrong story. And so I was enjoying my lunch when I looked up and I saw someone walking down the aisle towards me, and he looked familiar. And as he got closer, I realized, oh yeah, that's President Barack Obama.
For folks who only know you as, you know, the voice on NPR, what should they expect from the show you're bringing to City Winery?
Okay, the first thing is it's really important to know what not to expect. This show is not about the news. You want to hear about the news, you can listen to me on NPR. This show is personal stories, some of them adapted from my memoir, stories that are funny and hopefully gripping, interwoven with songs by everyone from Taylor Swift to Billy Joel to Stephen Sondheim.
Not living. What good is what you got if you're not having any fun? I get a lot of hate mail.
Just to give you an example, one of the stories, which actually relates to the title of the show, thank you for listening, is about my love of hate mail. And people who have followed me on social media know that I love posting some of the hate messages I get.
Yeah.
There is one postcard that arrived the very first time I hosted Morning Edition as a fill-in host way more than a decade ago. I have kept that postcard framed on my desk at NPR for all the years since then. I tell the story of it in the show, but because I'm sitting in my office at NPR right now, I can actually show you the postcard itself, which I do not take on tour because it's such a precious possession. Would you like to see it?
Yes, please.
Here we go. I don't know if you can read this. It says, "Dear Ari, please butch up. I find a daily dose of your personality annoying. I'm a person too." I totally love that.
Wow. And so what do you do with that?
Ultimately, at the end of the day, I appreciate that whoever wrote that, D. Emerson was the signature, was listening.
Yeah.
And the fact that they have feelings about what they're hearing, whether those feelings are positive or negative, is better than being bored or tuning it out or going off and listening to any number of other things that they could be listening to with their time. And so even though I joke about it and it's funny, ultimately, I like that people have a reaction. And that reaction doesn't have to be, I love everything I hear.
And so has anyone ever come to the show expecting you to give a lecture on American politics and then they're confused or like, oh, he's still singing?
I think a lot of people don't know what to expect. Yeah. This is, at the end of the day, a cabaret show. You know, I first created a cabaret show with the actor Alan Cumming. He and I, several years ago, collaborated to create this show that we called Och and Oi, a considered cabaret. He sort of taught me about how, as a genre, cabaret, and that's not to be confused with the Broadway show called Cabaret that Alan starred in, as a genre, cabaret allows you to explore all the different components of human emotion. It allows you to be silly and intense, sincere and irreverent. You can combine songs from different genres And you're not playing a character. You're just really being yourself. And I love that. Every night, being able to connect with an audience in a different place, in a different way. And if they show up expecting some talk about current events, hopefully they're pleased by what they get instead.
Every one of us has within us the ability to sit with someone and look into their eyes and really listen to what they have to say. How thoughtlessly we dissipate our energy.
It's clear you have a lot of hobbies and interests that you somehow find time to pursue. I know you garden a lot. You wrote a New York Times best-selling book.
Oh, you've got it. How nice.
Of course.
Thanks.
Yeah, right here. And you hosted The Mole on Netflix. So, like, what's next? Are you going to start selling artisanal soaps? Are you going to be in a Broadway musical? What
I have
is it?
no plans to sell artisanal soaps or be in a Broadway musical, but if you had asked me 6 months before I hosted The Mole whether that was on my vision board, the answer was no. So I want to give myself the space to figure out what might come next and sort of allow a lot of seeds to drop into the ground and see what sprouts, to use a gardening metaphor.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much, Ari. And, you know, Pittsburgh's excited to welcome you next week.
I really, truly love the city of Pittsburgh, and I can't wait to come thank you for listening there. Thanks so much for the interview, Boaz. It's great to see you.
So, that's so cool.
Yeah.
You could definitely tell he's a glass half full type of guy.
Yeah, it was, I mean, fun to chat with him. And then it was crazy because later that day, right after we talked, the news came out that he's actually leaving All Things Considered at the end of September. At that point, he'll have hosted the show for a decade. So what's next? Well, he's going to be hitting the road with a band, Pink Martini, and touring with them for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I would love to meet him.
He's fun. He's fun.
Cool.
Well, you can see him on Friday.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you can catch Ari's Cabaret Show. And thank you for listening at the City Winery in the Strip District on Friday, August 29th. We're going to have a link to tickets on our website.